What's up, everybody? It's Tako. Long time no see, but welcome back to the ATQ Tubes. And just in time, Oregon coming off of their Pac-12 Tournament Championship in Las Vegas last week with their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2008. Now, pretty much all Duck fans and many national analysts and pundits are complaining or questioning the seeding of Oregon. They ended up a 12 seed when many people thought they were more in the 8-9 range. I've done my fair share of griping about that on Addicted to Quack already, so I won't get too into it here. But there are some strategic advantages to actually being a 12 rather than an 8-9. Most specifically, you don't match up with an elite team in the second round. Now, true, it is a much harder first round game playing Oklahoma State instead of any of the other teams in sort of that 8, 9, 10 range, whether it's Iowa State, Colorado State, Missouri, Villanova, Temple. Those games would be an easier first round game, true. But should Oregon pull the upset against Oklahoma State, they would play the winner of St. Louis or New Mexico State in the second round. Either of those teams would be an easier game than playing the likes of Gonzaga or Miami or Georgetown or Louisville. So, harder first game, but potentially a more reasonable path to the second weekend. But before we get thinking about the second weekend, let's take a look at the team that Oregon has in front of it for Thursday, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. One of the most athletic teams in the field of 68. I think they're led by point guard Marcus Smart, who is an unbelievable talent. He's a consensus top 5 pick in next year's NBA draft, should he choose to leave. And he presents a lot of matchup problems for any team, but especially for Oregon. He's 6'4", he's incredibly quick, he's a smart passer, he is a great dribble penetrator, has a great inside-out game. He's a great rebounder for a guard as well. And there isn't really anybody on Oregon's roster that can match up with Smart. I don't think we could conceivably put 5'8" Jonathan Lloyd on 6'4" Marcus Smart for the whole game. If we put a taller guy like E.J. Singler on Smart, Smart's just going to take him off the dribble the whole time. He's that quick. I think we're going to see some sort of combination of Damian Dodson, Carlos Emery, maybe sprinkles of Dominic Artis and John Lloyd in there, and some zone as well. Dana Altman has a challenge in front of him to really vary up the defenses and find some looks that can neutralize this super athletic Oklahoma State team. While Oregon has 6 players that average 8 or more points per game, that's not even including John Lloyd, who's perhaps the hottest duck on the roster, Oklahoma State is going to get its scoring, the bulk of its scoring, from 4 players. Smart, forward LeBron Nash, who's another NBA caliber talent, and guards Markel Brown and Phil Forte. Nash is a guy, an inside bruiser, is a big guy. He's going to work inside. He's going to get to the foul line. He's averaging 5.5 free throws per game. And so it's going to be up to Tony Woods and Waverly Austin and the rest of the Oregon bigs to play smart defense. It's going to be up to guys like Singler or Kazemi to come in and bring help. Don't be afraid to give a double team. The other bigs for Oklahoma State starting 5, Phil Jurek and Michael Cobbins, they're not big-time scorers. I would rather see those two beat us than leave LeBron Nash in one-on-ones and have him just wear down the Oregon bigs. Markel Brown and Phil Forte, they're both going to look to shoot the 3, most likely off drive and dishes from Marcus Smart. Phil Forte, really his one goal, his one job is to come off the bench and make 3s. In the Big 12 Tournament Championship game against Kansas, he went 2 of 8, only scored 6 points. The Cowboys lost. And I think really he's that one factor off the bench that if Oregon can keep him out of rhythm, force him into less than ideal shots, they can turn those long rebounds into transition opportunities. I think there are a lot of similarities between the way that Oregon and Oklahoma State play. They're both athletic teams. They're both going to want to get out into transition. They both are very good at forcing turnovers. They're both very good on defense. Oklahoma State's one of the most efficient defensive teams in the country. And so, I think, is Oregon necessarily going to be able to beat a more athletic Oklahoma State team at their own game? Maybe not. I think Oregon really is going to have to play their best case scenario game to win, but I think they can do that. Oklahoma State, not really known as much of a closing team, while Oregon's been a very good second half team. So I think that, there's the potential, if Oregon can keep it close in the first half, and use that time early in the second half when it seemed to thrive lately, to really, go after and gain a lead and then hang on. Keys for Oregon pulling the upset, for God's sake, cut down on the turnovers. Oklahoma State already a very good team at forcing turnovers. There's no reason to help them out any more than they have to, especially in transition, because that's where Oregon's going to get a lot of its points. There were a ton of instances, okay, maybe not a ton, but, a few, really, visual instances and concrete instances that stood out in my mind of Oregon having a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-2 or a fast break opportunity that they tried to force something that wasn't there, threw a bad pass, just poor dribbling, not paying attention to where they were going, trying to go too fast and getting out of control, and wasting a fast break opportunity and turning the ball back over. And that can't happen in the NCAA tournament. I think Oregon's bigs have to play well to win. I think Oregon's a better rebounding team than Oklahoma State, and they're better scorers down low. Oklahoma State has LeBron Nash, but Oregon has a more diverse scoring palette down low. Tony Woods, has to have a very good game. He's got to make his frickin' layups. Waverly Austin looked good in the Pac-12 tournament. He's got to continue that. And I think really the player that presents the most problems for Oklahoma State from a personnel standpoint is Arsalan Kazemi. And he's got to have a big game to win. He can't have another one of those games where he disappears, turns the ball over a bunch, doesn't play well on defense. He's really, I think, the key player on Oregon's roster. The other one being Dominic Artis. He had a pretty atrocious game in the Pac-12 Tournament Championship, visibly upset at his performance even in the aftermath of the win. And I think he's going to be hungry and fired up for this game in front of a home Bay Area crowd for him. So, if Artis can play well, if Kazemi can do his crafty things, if Oregon can knock down some shots, I think they have a very good chance at pulling the upset. It's going to take a very good game. Oregon's not going to beat Oklahoma State on an off night, that's for sure. But if Oregon can play a very, very good game, and they can play, the kind of best case scenario basketball we've seen from them, the Washington game is one, the championship game against UCLA or the game before it against Utah, they looked very good, very composed for most of the game except for those couple stretches against UCLA. They have the ability to win it. They just got to go out and do it. And then that will set them up for a Saturday date with either St. Louis or New Mexico State. So, go Ducks. Good luck on Thursday. Stay tuned to addictedtoquack.com for all of your NCAA tournament needs. And join our ESPN.com tournament challenge. The prize for the first place winner will be something that I don't know about yet because ATQ head honcho David Piper has not told me about it. But there will be a prize, which is awesome. The group name is Addicted to Quack, and the password is Scott MF Frost, all one word. Scott MF Frost, all lowercases. So yeah, check us out, addictedtoquack.com. This is the ATQ Tube. I am Tako. Go Ducks. Have a fun March Madness first week. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and we'll catch you next time.